Good evening and thank you for joining us. The popular China-owned video sharing app TikTok went dark late on Saturday in the United States. A message for users on the app says a law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S., and the app is therefore temporarily unavailable. The message adds that we are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said on Saturday he will most likely give TikTok a 90-day extension on Inauguration Day. In April 2024, U.S. President Joe Biden signed a bill passed by both chambers of Congress requiring the app's Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese company within 270 days or face a ban. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld the law on Friday. The app has 170 million users in the U.S., many of whom have identified themselves as TikTok refugees and moved to other similar apps such as China's Red Note. With TikTok halting services in the U.S., some have noted large numbers of American users flocking to mainland social media platform Red Note or Xiaohongshu. Several of the so-called TikTok refugees have also indicated an interest in developing their careers in China. This as a number of U.S. production companies have shifted their content to other platforms in advance in light of the ban. Timothy Lee tells us more.
The sea has truly parted as an exodus of U.S. TikTok users made their way to mainland social media platform Xiaohongshu, also known abroad as Red Note. This wave of mass digital migration has also led to an increased interest in Chinese culture. A popular language learning platform noted on social media that within a one-week period ahead of the TikTok ban this month, the number of users learning Chinese doubled compared with the same period last year. This as some production companies made the transition from TikTok much earlier in hopes of lessening the ban's impact.
We knew that this was coming for kind of a while now. We didn't actually expect it was gonna happen as quickly as it did. But yeah, no. So we've shifted our resources preemptively all to Instagram. This opened up a pretty big just conversation about censorship, and I think it's probably the biggest case of censorship that we've ever had.
Now that TikTok is banned, do you feel like a lot of Americans have shifted to the use of Red Note? Are they skeptical about the app?
There's a lot of discourse around it, especially within Gen Alpha and Gen Z. But the older, but I'd say millennials and older are probably still not too familiar with it. From both a content and functionality perspective, it feels like you're not getting the entire access to the app if you're not a Chinese speaker.
Meanwhile, a founding partner of a U.S. law firm who has been using TikTok to explain legal concepts to potential clients and services hopes that there'll be a turnaround in the ban.
It's an opportunity for us to connect with the general public and the local community, and it's a really great way for us to showcase who we are. And so this TikTok ban will dramatically affect our ability to reach the TikTok. You could spend 1 minute, make a quick video about something new that just happened, and it immediately can gain traction.
Timothy Lee, TVB News.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump returned to Washington, D.C. on Saturday evening to celebrate with family, supporters, and political allies ahead of his second inauguration. It was a triumphant return for the Republican 4 years after he departed the city under the shadow of an attack by his supporters on the Capitol. Trump is due to be sworn in on Monday. Nasvi Karim has more.
4 years ago, Donald Trump said he and his family would return to Washington in some form. That form is starting to take shape. Trump, to be sworn in as the 47th U.S. president, undertook the official ceremonial journey from his home in Florida to the White House. First, the family of his daughter Ivanka boarded Air Force One, temporarily known as Special Air Mission 47. Trump's motorcade left his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida as cheering supporters lined the streets. Trump waves as he, wife Melania, and son Barron board the C-32 aircraft. Arriving in darkness in Sterling, Virginia, he then headed to his golf club on the outskirts of Washington. Trump and Melania laughing and joking with each other as a spectacular fireworks display lit up the sky in front of the Trump National Golf Club. Next stop, Washington, the city he left 4 years ago as a near pariah after his supporters raided the Capitol building on January 6th to protest his election defeat by Joe Biden. His inauguration on Monday will, however, be a more private affair after he decided to take it indoors because of the cold weather. Instead of taking the oath from the west front of the U.S. Capitol building, the ceremony will take place in the Capitol Rotunda. Capital One Arena, which has room for about 20,000 people, will be open for people to watch the swearing-in ceremony. It will be the first indoor inauguration since Ronald Reagan took his second oath in January 1985. Around 220,000 people who bought tickets to the U.S. Capitol grounds will be unable to get a first-hand look at the inauguration. The frigid weather forecast has also prompted Trump to move the traditional parade down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capital One Arena. The event is expected to feature remarks from him and marching bands. Meanwhile, protests in Washington over the incoming Trump administration. The People's March, shedding its all-women's march name to broaden support, is a progressive movement that is calling for, among other things, greater reproductive rights for women.
I'm here because I want the world to know that the majority of Americans do not support this administration, and it's important for us to continue making our voices heard.
Soon after the inauguration, Trump is expected to head to the White House for a welcoming ceremony before getting straight to work, signing executive orders related to illegal immigrants and boosting U.S. manufacturing. U.S. media reported on Saturday that Trump has expressed an interest in visiting China within his first 100 days in office, though no decision has yet been made. Nazri Karim, TVB News.
Live coverage of the inauguration of Donald Trump by NBC News will be broadcast live on TVB Pearl Monday night, starting at 11 p.m. Meanwhile, in South Korea, supporters of impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol stormed a Seoul court early today after its decision to formally arrest Yoon. Yoon left the Seoul Western District Court on Saturday to find that he should not be detained. After 8 hours of deliberation, the court granted law enforcement's request for an arrest warrant for Yoon, saying he was a threat to destroy evidence. The decision to arrest Yoon triggered unrest at the court, where dozens of his supporters broke in and rioted, destroying the main door and windows. They used plastic chairs, metal beams, and police shields that they managed to wrestle away from officers. Yoon has been in detention since he was apprehended on Wednesday. He faces potential rebellion charges linked to his declaration of martial law on December 3rd. Welcome back. Mainland students were among some of the latest victims of scam calls in the city. Sources said the government is looking into introducing a scam-related questionnaire for such students before their arrival in Hong Kong. Timothy Lee reports.
Hong Kong's string of scam call cases continues to ensnare new victims, particularly mainland students. An 18-year-old mainland student studying at the University of Hong Kong lost $9.2 million after falling victim to a scammer who claimed to be an official. The University Students' Union revealed that more than 60 students became scam victims in just the last month, having lost a total of over $60 million. To prevent further incidents, the institution informed students via email that they will not be allowed inside university libraries unless they fill out an anti-scam questionnaire provided by the police by the 10th of next month. Some mainland students share their thoughts on the latest measure. This student says she rarely checks her emails, which could have led her to missing out on the announcement. While this student said the measure should be expanded to other restrictions on the use of dining halls. Sources said the Polytechnic University already asked mainland students to fill out a similar questionnaire prior to getting their student IDs last year. The questionnaire, designed by the police and featuring more than 30 questions, includes various scam scenarios, such as individuals claiming to be mainland officials on the phone. Reports say the police and university both recorded a drop in scam victims after the release of the questionnaire. This as the government considers implementing a similar measure for all mainland students in the future. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The head of the respiratory medicine at the Chinese University of Hong Kong expects Hong Kong's winter flu season to peak early next month, saying it is difficult to estimate how long it will last. Respiratory disease expert Dr. David Hui said in the second week of January, there were 37 cases of severe influenza among adults who required intensive care. 15 of these patients died. 19 more flu patients died over the first 4 days of the third week of January. Nearly 70% of the serious cases have not been vaccinated against influenza. He has called on the public to continue stepping up preventive measures. The UK has proposed a 60% hike in its electronic travel authorization, or ETA fee. The ETA is a visa waiver that must be applied for online in advance of travel to the UK. Since January 8th, ETAs were being introduced worldwide for visitors to the UK who do not currently need a visa for short stays or who do not already have a UK immigration status. Starting April 2nd, the online permit requirement will be extended to travelers from EU countries. The fee was £10, but if the UK Home Office's proposal is given the green light, the amount charged will be raised to £16 or around 150 Hong Kong dollars. While the proposal has sparked criticism from the travel and business sectors, the Home Office said the fee hike will bring £269 million of extra revenue to the public coffers every year. The airport authority is setting sights on developing the Hong Kong International Airport into a tourism landmark. While the move is expected to cost $100 billion, the authority's chairman, Fred Lam, says he hopes most of the funding will come from the business sector. The Airport Authority unveiled the Airport City Development Blueprint, envisioning a world-class landmark that combines elements of commerce, pop culture, entertainment, and leisure named Skytopia. Skytopia is also poised to include a market selling gourmet products freshly flown to Hong Kong from around the world. Speaking on a radio program, Fred Lam, chairman of the Airport Authority, said the concept is similar to that of Japan's Tsukiji Market, but the Tsukiji Market only sells mainly seafood, while the Hong Kong version will feature and source a variety of fruits, meat, and seafood globally. The Airport Bay Marina will be built, featuring more than 500 yacht berths to woo more affluent tourists with the ease of travel by yachts and private jets. The hub also aims to help boost the city's art trading with Hong Kong's first one-stop art hub for creation, appreciation, and trade, as well as art storage facilities. It also plans to include a smart transport system with driverless vehicles and automated parking, connecting the airport island and Tung Chung North. The entire project is expected to come with a price tag of $100 billion. The Airport Authority will shoulder the infrastructure bill of $30 billion, while the other projects will require investor participation. Fred Lam said investors from the mainland, other Asian and European countries, as well as the United States, have expressed interest. He added after the commissioning of the 3-runway system, flights last Christmas have returned to pre-pandemic levels. They have also ratcheted up the number of flights for the Lunar New Year holidays. The World Economic Forum's annual meeting will open in Davos, Switzerland on Monday. Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang will deliver a speech at the five-day event, while Hong Kong's Financial Secretary Paul Chan is also attending. Some scholars expect China to hold talks with relevant countries over EU tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles. Convened under the theme Collaboration for the Intelligent Age, the Davos 2025 conference is set to gather some 3,000 government officials and business leaders from more than 130 countries and regions. Ding Xuexiang, Vice Premier of the State Council, will deliver a speech at the annual meeting. Donald Trump, poised to be sworn in as U.S. President, is expected to deliver a video address on Thursday. Political scientist Lo Xiu-hing said, while Trump is only making a video address, Ding's in-person attendance will underscore China's multilateral diplomacy. But Lo said most officials will likely reiterate their existing positions, with limited substantive political breakthroughs expected. Ding will also visit Switzerland and the Netherlands. Lo said Beijing may try to engage with some EU countries, including the Netherlands and Germany, over tariffs slapped on Chinese-made electric vehicles. Meanwhile, Financial Secretary Paul Chan will represent Hong Kong at the World Economic Forum for the third consecutive year. Chan said in his blog that he would brief world leaders on Hong Kong's new strengths and opportunities. According to the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Swiss investment in Hong Kong topped $11.3 billion in 2023, ranking fourth among European countries. Traditionally, there have been close ties in the banking and jewelry industries. HKTDC Director of Research Irina Fan said Switzerland has much potential for more collaboration with Hong Kong, as both places attach growing importance to developing life science and health tech related fields. Hong Kong has positioned itself as a cultural exchange hub where East meets West. Sakura Ip takes a look at an event aimed at promoting exchanges between mainland and international artists on the Hong Kong stage, 14 years after it was last held in the city. On stage, this father-daughter gestural shows no mercy. After learning jazz organ from her father for 4 years, Sylvia has performed alongside him in the West Kowloon Cultural District and at a trade fair in the US. It's the first time for this 12-year-old to take the lead.
I feel like really a little bit scared about that, but I will try to do my best. And after the show, I will hope that I will have more kind of performance like this.
Every exposure is very important for us because we never know what audience will come. I want to bring this kid to another country to play jazz.
This light and shadow show created by a Shenzhen troupe will make its Hong Kong debut to test the water for future international opportunities. Norman Huang, the troupe director, said they want to learn from international audience feedback as they may not understand the language. Returning after 14 years, the 3-week Hong Kong Fringe Festival draws participants from local, mainland European and Southeast Asian arts groups, offering over 100 performances. The Fringe Club will provide venues and take a 40% cut of ticket sales. The organizer hopes to enhance Hong Kong's role as a cultural exchange hub.
We hope Hong Kong is also a super connector in the art and cultural industry to connect the mainland artists to the outside world. At the same time, we connect the outside artists to come to Hong Kong as a stepping stone and to go into the mainland art industry. So here is the platform and the connector.
Regina Leung also said there's no censorship in the festival this year, as Hong Kong is a free society with a legal framework. Sakura Ip, TVB News. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.